Hello and welcome. Tonight, Northern governors and security chiefs hold emergency summit in Kaduna, agree to forge a new path and tackle rising insecurity. Chief Justice of Nigeria steps in to end Rivers' long-running political crisis, summons judges over conflicting judgments. NASU and SANU join forces to paralyze academic activities in the country, embark on indefinite strike as ASU also gives strike notice. And there has been a furious reaction from Republicans as well as Democrats after a comedian made racist jokes at the Donald Trump rally.
On business news tonight, Nigeria's central bank signs agreements with the International Finance Corporation to increase local currency financing for businesses and to cut foreign exchange risks.
Sports news tonight, Manchester United assistant manager and ex-striker Ruud van Nistelrooy takes over on an interim basis at Old Trafford following the sack of Erik ten Hag.
And from the nation's capital, House of Representatives Speaker Abbas Tajuddin seeks support of leaders at all levels to increase women's participation in governance.
And in international news from London, there has been a furious reaction from Republicans as well as Democrats after a comedian made racist jokes at a Donald Trump rally.
We begin with a call for action on the blackout that has enveloped some parts of the north in the last 1 week by the northern governors. The governors from the 19 states met today in Kaduna with traditional rulers in the region, as well as the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, focused on finding solutions to the lingering insecurity, poverty, and other socio-economic challenges ravaging the region. The host, Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani, calls for a strong regional and national collaborative approach to address the pressing issues before they get out of hand.
Governors of the 19 northern states and traditional rulers arrive at the Sir Kashim Ibrahim House in Kaduna State for a crucial meeting hosted by the Kaduna State Governor. In attendance are the governors of Gombe, Zamfara, Nasarawa, Borno, Bauchi, Kwara, and Adamawa states, as well as the deputy governors from the other northern states. Also present are the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, and the traditional rulers led by the Sultan of Sokoto, His Eminent Alhaji Saad Abubakar III. The Northern Governors Forum says the meeting is part of the efforts to address pressing issues, especially insecurity, recent power outage across many northern states that has crippled socio-economic activities in the region. Poverty, out-of-school children, and other socio-economic challenges ravaging the region through engagement with key stakeholders. The host governor and the chairman of the Northern Governors Forum call for urgent and strategic interventions.
I'm confident that under the able leadership of His Excellency Mohammed Ino Yahya and His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto Mohammed Saad Abubakar, the Northern Governors Forum and the Northern Traditional Rulers Council will make their marks as effective platforms for addressing the security and developmental challenges confronting the North.
Our unity and commitment to the prosperity of the people remains our greatest source of strength that will enable us to overcome these challenges.
The Chief of Defense Staff also makes a comprehensive presentation to the governors, highlighting the military's ongoing operations and future actionable plans to tackle insecurity in the north. And when it was his turn to speak, the Sultan of Sokoto urged collective action to tackle the key drivers of insecurity and restiveness in the region.
For us, cooperation is very, very key and very critical to our success. By working hand in hand, we can overcome the challenges before us and pave the way for a better northern Nigeria. It was in this vein that the Armed Forces of Nigeria recently rejigged its operation in the Northwest with the launch of operationalization of Joint Task Force Operation Fansanyama. This will further strengthen our resolve to bring lasting peace to the North and the nation at large.
The issue of out-of-school children and the margin is a very sore problem to all of us. If you go around the states, the towns, cities, villages, what you see around is very unpleasant.
This joint meeting of the Northern Governors Forum and the traditional rulers highlights their shared responsibility and commitment to collaboratively pave the way for a secure and prosperous northern Nigeria.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has directed the Minister of Power and relevant agencies to speed up the pace of work to restore electricity and end the disruption that has paralyzed social and economic activities in 17 states in the north. According to a statement by the Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, President Tinubu is saddened by the reports of vandalism and willful destruction of power infrastructure and other public assets that caused the unfortunate blackout. To ensure that restoration work continues unhindered, the President also directed the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, to work with the Army and Air Force to deploy adequate security personnel, including aerial cover, to protect the engineers who are fixing the damaged transmission line. Speaking with State House correspondents after the meeting, the minister also spoke on efforts to install a 100-megawatt solar power source for each of the 20 northern states.
The world is moving. This is the 21st century, and we believe that the most effective way of supplying uninterrupted, functional, stable, and reliable electricity to the northern part of Nigeria is through our distributed power model, whereby each of the northern states will have an embedded utility solar scale solar source. All the 20 states will be insulated and immune from each other. Once we have, and we have actually made progress in this, as we have interested contractors and financiers that are ready to install 100 megawatts each for each of the 20 northern states, which is scalable to 50 megawatts at first, then upgraded to 100 megawatts. We are working on establishing what is called a super grid, which is a backup or failover optional grid. If the national grid has a problem, there will be an alternative route through which power can be transmitted. That is what we are working on. Then lastly is the fact that the world has moved beyond having a centralized grid. Grid must be regionalized. We must have state grids so that each of the regionalized grid will be insulated from each other. A problem in a particular line will not affect the others. That is what we are working on. Until that is done, we believe that we'll keep managing what we have and reduce the frequent occurrence of the grid disturbance.
To the nation's capital now, the FCT Police Command has arrested the lawmaker representing Aba North and South Federal constituency of Abia State in the House of Representatives, Honorable Alexander Ikweche, for allegedly assaulting a Bolt driver identified as Mr. Stephen Abuatsea and making derogatory comments on the office of the Inspector General of Police. A statement by the spokesperson of the FCT Police Command, Josephine Ade, said the command received a report at the Maitama Divisional Headquarters regarding an incident involving Mr. Abuatsea and Honorable Alexander Ikweche. She adds that the FCT Commissioner of Police, Olatunji Disu, has mandated a thorough investigation into the matter, while assuring of the command's commitment to conducting an impartial investigation and ensuring justice in all cases. A viral video showing the lawmaker, a member of the House of Representatives, slapping the Bolt driver has sparked outrage on social media platforms, and it appears that the issues of assault by lawmakers is not peculiar to Nigeria, as a member of parliament in the United Kingdom, Mike Amesbury, was also in the spotlight just a few days ago after a video surfaced showing him assaulting a man in the town of Frodsham. The footage, published by Mail Online, showed the member of parliament punching the man to the ground and continuing to strike him as onlookers shouted for him to stop. The Labour Party, which assumed power in July, announced on Sunday that the 55-year-old MP had been suspended pending an investigation. It now remains to be seen what will be the outcome of the investigation into the case involving Honorable Alexander Ikweche. It is now over 48 hours since members of the Joint Health Sector Unions, Judicial, declared a 7-day warning strike to protest the alleged government's failure to address their members' welfare issues. The warning strike, which started Friday, October the 25th, is expected to last to the end of this week. Now, the unions have also threatened to embark on an indefinite strike if their demands are not met. And this report captures situations in teaching hospitals across the country.
We begin in Lagos, where health workers in public hospitals under the umbrella of the joint health sector unions and assembly healthcare professionals observed partial compliance with the directive by their leadership to embark on a 7-day warning strike. A visit to the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Luth, shows health workers at work and a busy atmosphere.
What we are saying is, pay all these arrears. We aren't talking about the new one. No. That's the new one that is not taking anybody home. They just pay people 40,000 naira flat, and for the senior staff, eventually get away with about 30,000 naira because they are going to remove tax from it. But what we are saying is, all this money that has even lost value, 2014, that has even lost value, bring the money.
You can imagine if we had to suspend a strike just went on in 2022 because of a dialogue with the government and promises from them that they are going to attend to the demands of Judicial. And many months later, the demands are still not met.
Still in the southwest, the Joint Health Workers Union members at the University College Hospital, Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, joined their counterparts across the country for the warning strike.
This is the partial treatment we've been experiencing in the health sector. We appreciated the fact that he came in person to discuss with us. So we respected him for it, and we suspended the strike. Now it's over a year and nothing has been done.
In the South-South region, a visit to the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital showed that there were some members who came to work, but they were addressed and asked to go home by the chairperson of the state union.
We really want to ensure that total compliance is observed. And from our national, we also got letters from the hospital services in Abuja was sent to all CMDs in all the hospitals. Instead of the federal government to do the needful by respecting their own side of bargaining, rather they decide to intimidate the health workers by saying they should sign attendance register, which is not pleasant to us.
And at the nation's capital, the National Secretary of JOESU, Martin Egbanubi, told Channels Television that the unions are yet to receive any invitation from the government for a reconciliation meeting.
We are still expecting formal invitation from government on this matter, especially the Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment, who has the mandate of the law, the Trade Dispute Act, to conciliate on this matter. We expect that such official communication will be done, but we also emphasize, because we're hearing issues that may border on victimization or sanction of our members, we emphasize that the law that prescribes this dispute make it a dispute that no one should be victimized. No member of JOESU should be sanctioned.
JOESU members are demanding, among other things, the adjustment of consolidated health salary structure, the payment of outstanding salaries in health professional regulatory councils and agencies, as well as the upward review of the retirement age of members from 60 to 65 years for health workers and 70 years for consultants.
Still in labour matters, the president of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, Mohammed Ibrahim, says members of the non-teaching staff of universities will only return to work after receiving payment of their 4 months withheld salaries, which they say have been approved by the president. SANU and the non-academic staff union, NASU, of educational and associated institutions, which make up the Joint Action Committee of non-teaching staff unions in the universities, today embarked on a nationwide indefinite strike over the non-payment of the 4 months withheld salaries. Mr. Ibrahim spoke on our political program, Politics Today.
I can confirm to you, we were contacted yesterday and this morning by the former Minister of State Education, Dr. Sununu, who said he was speaking at the instance of the new minister, Dr. Alausa, and we are scheduled to meet within the week to to see how we can sort out this problem. But we have made it very clear. We have been meeting with 4 ministers now. So it's not the issue of meeting. The issue is that we want payment and that every procedure has been followed. And they can just simply direct the payment for this the release of this money. And I assure you, in less than 24 hours, we can just refer back to our principals and this strike will be suspended. So
are you getting that? Are you getting some kind of assurances that could happen tonight?
Well, assurances are not something that we have not received before. So assurances from politicians, assurances from government officials are not new things to us. But the mandate we have from our members is that this strike is totally indefinite and that we will only resume when we get the alerts for the payments.
In part 2, after the break, a prosecution witness who was recalled takes to the witness box in the ongoing trial of the former central bank governor, Godwin Emefiele, over alleged money laundering. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you have just joined us, you are watching the News at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasted live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Northern governors and security chiefs hold emergency summit in Kaduna, agree to forge a new path and tackle rising insecurity. Chief Justice of Nigeria steps in to end Rivers' long-running political crisis, summons judges over conflicting judgments. NASU and SANU join forces to paralyze academic activities in the country, embark on indefinite strike as ASU also gives strike notice. It's a deadly attack on Chad military base as 40 Chadian soldiers are killed by suspected Islamic militants. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, has summoned judges involved in conflicting rulings on political cases in Rivers State. A panel of the National Judicial Council will probe the judges, just as the CJN has ordered that the reports be submitted this week. The panel will be headed by a former Court of Appeal justice and 2 heads of courts. The CJN has also summoned the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court for questioning this week, Tuesday. This summons comes after formal complaints were filed with the Council. The Chief Judge of the Rivers State High Court will also appear before the NJC panel next week for the same purpose. A dispatch rider, Monday Osazua, has testified before a Lagos High Court sitting in Ikeja that the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, instructed him not to keep any record of the monies he allegedly collected on Mr. Emefiele's behalf. Osazua, who is the first prosecution witness in the trial of Mr. Emefiele, took the witness box again today following an application granted by Justice Rahman Oshodi for his recall. At the resumed hearing of the case today, Osazua, who was cross-examined by Mr. Emefiele's counsel, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Olalekan Ojo, testified that Mr. Emefiele did talk to him directly a few times, during which he advised him not to write anything down in respect of any money he received or delivered. The witness also acknowledged that he didn't have any document from either Mr. Emefiele or his co-accused, Henry Omoile, acknowledging the receipt of such monies. A sixth prosecution witness, John Oga, a former staff of Zenith Bank and secretary in charge of administration to the governor of the CBN, also testified. Justice Oshodi has adjourned till Wednesday, October the 30th, for continuation of his trial. So let's head to the nation's capital now, and Terry Kumi is standing by to give us the latest from our Abuja studios. Hello, Terry. Over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Ayo. Now, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, is seeking the support of all leaders at all levels to increase women's participation in governance. He was speaking at the International Legislative Dialogue on Women and Constitution in Abuja, where he stressed that while the National Assembly can come up with bills to ensure gender inclusion, it still requires the inputs of others.
It's the International Legislative Dialogue on Women and Constitution Amendment in Nigeria. Policymakers and women from all spheres of life have converged for this meeting, which follows an existing collaboration between the House of Representatives, the European Union, and the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, PLAC, to lend their voices to the call for more women's participation in governance.
Countries that have successfully integrated women into decision-making roles experience gains in innovation, collaboration across sectors, and notably economic growth. In Africa, for example, comparative insights from Rwanda, from Tanzania, and Senegal indicate the transformative benefits of gender parity in government leadership that Nigeria can emulate.
A report by McKinsey Global Institute estimates that about $12 trillion could be added to the global gross domestic product by the year 2025 by advancing women's equality. Representatives of development agencies explain that Nigeria must rise up to this task.
Half of Nigerians' population are women, and yet the reality is not reflected in the governance system. A government that includes women is more representative of the people it serves, leading to greater public trust and engagement.
Lawmakers put their arguments to increase the participation of women.
Organizations and countries benefit from better decision-making, stronger economic growth, and enhanced social well-being when women hold leadership roles.
It's a clarion call to action, a powerful platform where legislators, civil society, and stakeholders unite to confront the entrenched challenge of gender disparity in Nigerian politics.
At the end of the conversations, a commitment to support more of women's participation in governance at all levels is signed. This new partnership is expected to see more women come into governance space at all levels.
President Bola Tinubu has approved a sum of 10 billion naira for the Federal Capital Territory Youth Empowerment Fund. Speaking during the flag-off of a construction of an access road in Ushafa Buhari Area Council of the nation's capital, the FCT Minister, Mr. Nyesom Wike, confirmed this and also disclosed that his administration will soon launch an advanced security scheme to curb insecurity in the FCT. Our correspondent Kumbi Aboluwade reports.
This access road in Ushafa, the Buhari Area Council, is the latest as project's flag-off continues in the Federal Capital Territory.
Your Excellency, let me highlight...
The road, in close proximity to the law school campus, will lead to the upgrading of the War College, Army Checkpoint, and other auxiliary roads in Buhari Area Council.
The contract was awarded on the 28th of September 2024 to Mrs. Abduval Limited, and is expected to be completed within the period of 18 months. Let me highlight the scope of the project. Upgrading of 11-kilometer roads, site clearance and earthworks, construction of access slabs and culverts, and lastly, installation of solar street lights.
It's time now for the FCT minister's speech, and he begins by addressing critics of his administration.
Those who say we are concentrating in the city are those who have naturally chosen to be blind. Because if God gave you eyes, and you say, no, you don't want to see, is it our problem? God gave me eyes, I want to see, and I'm seeing. And then you say you don't want to see. Continue not to see. By the time this administration finishes in 2027, Abuja will be a different thing altogether.
He also made some revelations.
This is the first time that Mr. President insisted there must be a youth development fund on how to help the youth to grow. And Mr. President provided, for a start, the sum of 10 billion naira to see how the youths can be empowered. On Friday, of course, we are going to launch another security scheme where we are going to make sure whether you call yourself that you are not the cause, it's not my business. Stay in your state and beg. Begin what say mama no go sleep, him go sleep. Him go sleep. So criminals were ready.
Done with his speech, Mr. Wike, alongside the FCT Minister of State and other top officials of the FCTA, proceed to flag off the project. Kumbi Aboluwade, Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria's central bank signs agreement with the International Finance Corporation to increase local currency financing for businesses' growth and cut foreign exchange risks. That's on Business News. Please stay with us. Welcome back to the news at 10, coming to you live on Channels Television. Now some company news. MTN Nigeria Foundation has handed over some refurbished science laboratories to the management of Our Lady of Apostles Secondary School, Yaba. The laboratories include that of agric science, biology, chemistry, and physics, as management of the institution thanked the telecoms giants for contributing to the academic development of the school.
For the last 8 years, MTN Nigeria Foundation has extended its educational support to schools across the country.
So the MTN officials,
this time, it is a turn of Our Lady of Apostles Secondary School, Yaba.
1956.
The administrator, Our Lady of Apostles Secondary School, Yaba, Reverend Sister Martina Magu, in her speech says her school will continue to honor the contributions of MTN Nigeria Foundation.
On behalf of our entire school community, our staff, parents, and most importantly, our talented and deserving students, I extend our deepest and most sincere gratitude to MTN Nigeria Foundation for these exceptional gifts.
Executive Director, MTN Nigeria Foundation, Odunayo Soya, speaks on the reason the school was chosen.
Some of the laboratories we've handed over, they don't even have roofs. They've been locked for years. But we had to revitalize because we believe that's our calling. It's a calling more than a job for us at the foundation. And so this school met all of that criteria, and I think you should clap for yourselves.
Representing the special guest of honor and governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the special assistant on innovation, broadband and technology, Mr. Ganiu Oseni, appreciates the company's partnership with the government in building the education sector in Lagos.
Your substantial contributions to the socio-economic growth of our state are highly commendable, and your partnership strengthens our shared vision of making Lagos a hub for innovation, knowledge, and opportunities.
To declare this.
Soon they go on to cut the tape symbolizing the official handover of the newly refurbished laboratories.
For the greater glory of God and for the enhancement of academic education of our children.
How best to do this than enabling the young leaders to learn, to see, to have good facilities to learn with, and then they can compete globally.
MTN Foundation has invested over 2 billion naira in renovating 102 science laboratories in 32 secondary schools across 15 states in the last 3 years in Nigeria.
Well, that's all from the nation's capital. Back to Ayo for the rest of the news.
Thank you so much, Terry. The 9th edition of cooking oil brand Power Oil Walk Heart On campaign to drive heart health awareness has taken place in Lagos. The 6-kilometer walk provided platform for participants to exercise while spreading the message of the need for healthy heart amongst Nigerians.
It's the 9th edition of the Power Oil Walk Heart On, an annual event organized to drive awareness around heart health.
Presently in Nigeria, 11% of all diseases, all deaths due to non-communicable diseases is due to cardiovascular diseases. So, so you see that heart health is a really, really big problem in Nigeria at present, and we feel that it's important to utilize this platform to educate, to engage people to stand up, get active, eat quality meals, be sure of the source of your meals, be very sure that you are sourcing your meals from trusted sources like Power Oil.
Participants from all walks of life get together for a warm-up session. This year, it's a 6-kilometer walk from the stable Bode Thomas Surulere down to Western Avenue, through to Costain, the National Stadium, and back to the stable. And participants share their experiences.
Yes, I'm having a beautiful time. I'm having fun because, I mean, it's not every day you get to walk out with this massive crowd.
I literally came in late to just join up in the troop and just have fun while I lose weight together.
As you can see, I'm sweating, so it's good for the heart.
The walkathon gets the buy-in of the organization's Together We Can campaign.
Every bottle of Power Oil that was bought during this period, a token from each bottle contributed to 3 life-saving heart surgeries for 3 individuals. And we did this while partnering with Kano Heart Foundation, and we are really, really happy that we were able to facilitate saving the lives of these individuals.
One of the 3 beneficiaries of the heart surgery shows up at the event.
My son had a heart condition that we were never aware of, and in the process of going for attention on how to resolve the matter, we met Power Oil and Kano Heart Foundation.
It's been like a month now since I did the surgery and I feel better that way. I appreciate you for sponsoring my surgery. God will bless everybody and thank you.
While the 9th walkathon gives way for the next edition, Power Oil wants every Nigerian to stay heart conscious always and keep patronizing the cooking oil brand.
Time now for some business news with Joker Rogers.
Thank you, Ayo. Welcome to Business News. Nigeria's central bank has signed an agreement with the International Finance Corporation to expand local currency financing for Nigerian businesses and cut foreign exchange risks. In a statement released today, the CBN says the partnership will enable the IFC manage currency risks and increase its investments in Nigeria's naira currency across agriculture, housing, infrastructure, energy, small and medium-sized enterprises, and the creative industry. This collaboration means the IFC can manage currency risks and increase its investments in the naira across priority sectors of the economy. Meanwhile, the federal government has secured $350 million funding from the African Development Bank for the construction of the 283-kilometer Kano-Maradi rail project linking Niger Republic. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Land Transport, Senator Adamu Alero, made this known today during an oversight visit to the Nigeria Railway Corporation headquarters in Lagos. The strategic rail line, which was launched during the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari, will cross through Kano, Jigawa, and Katsina State in northwest Nigeria and extend into Maradi in Niger Republic to create a vital corridor for regional trade and connectivity. Well, it's a negative start for the week at the domestic stock market as losses from 27 equities overshadowed gains from 17 advancers. Laddie Williams has more of those figures.
To the stock market report. Well, the last trading week of October, drum roll, kicks off in the red, 0.76% down, losing the 99,000 level and losing the 60 trillion level. That's for the market capitalization. Let's look at the market mover today to the downside as Boa Cement share price there dipped about 10%. And we see for the gainers counter, we see Livestock Feeds PLC leading the counter. I had a glimpse of their financial report for Q3 and 9 months to September. Gross profit rose for both times there. Q3 was up about 4.3 billion naira to about 10 billion naira. So we see that the investors might be reacting to that. 9.97%. Unicell also there, up at 10%. Now we see also the losers counter now. Most of the stocks that dropped today. Boa Cement topping that counter. So the last trading week of October kicks off with profit taking after a nice rally led by banks last week. So today it's the bears.
That's business news tonight. Ayotunde, back to you.
Many thanks, Joke. Still to come on the news at 10. Well, there has been a furious reaction from Republicans as well as Democrats after a comedian made racist jokes at the Donald Trump rally. Please stay with us.
Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. There has been a furious reaction from Republicans as well as Democrats after a comedian made racist jokes at a Donald Trump rally.
There's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay, all right.
The comedian Tony Hinchcliffe also said Latinos loved making babies. A Trump advisor distanced the former president from the joke, and the Kamala Harris campaign has attacked the rally as dangerously divisive.
But I'm thrilled to be back in the city I love.
Mr. Trump told thousands of his supporters in New York's Madison Square Garden he would deport millions of migrants and called Harris a very low IQ individual. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez urged Puerto Rican voters to act on the garbage comments.
I mean, it's like super upsetting. Obviously, it's super upsetting to me. My family is from Puerto Rico. I'm Puerto Rican. And like, the thing that is so messed up that I wish more people understood is that the things that they do in Puerto Rico are a testing ground for the policies and the horrors that they wish to, and that they do unveil in working class communities across the United States.
Meanwhile, the US Vice President and Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris has traversed the battleground state of Pennsylvania. She visited a black barbershop and, in stark contrast to Mr. Trump's campaign, was welcomed into a Puerto Rican restaurant in Philadelphia. Ms. Harris plans to visit every battleground state in the coming days, including a Madison, Wisconsin rally and concert with folk rock band Mumford & Sons.
What kind of country do we want to live in? That's before us right now. What kind of country do we want for our children and our grandchildren? A country of chaos, fear, and hate, or a country of freedom, justice, and compassion?
Georgia's Prime Minister has hailed a landslide election result, rejecting allegations of vote rigging and violence. Irregularities happen everywhere in every country, said the leader of the Georgian Dream Party. Official preliminary results from Georgia's election gave the ruling Georgian Dream an outright majority of 54%, despite exit polls for opposition TV channels suggesting 4 opposition parties had won. Georgia's pro-Western president has condemned the total falsification of the vote and called for opposition supporters to rally outside Parliament. Evo Morales, the former Bolivian president, has said a car he was travelling in had been shot at in what he condemned as an attempt on his life. A video he posted to social media appeared to show at least 2 bullet holes in the windscreen of a car in the front seat of which Mr. Morales was sitting. In a statement, Morales' Movement for Socialism party said men in black had fired on the vehicle when it passed by a military barracks. In the video, the driver appeared to have been injured, although not seriously. The party said it held President Luis Arce's government responsible. Gerard Depardieu has asked for a delay to the beginning of his sexual assault trial, which was set to open in Paris on Monday.
Monsieur Depardieu?
His lawyer asked for the delay, citing the star's health issues. The French actor is accused of attacking 2 women while shooting the 2021 film Les Volettes Vertes in the highest-profile Me Too case to hit the country. Prosecutors say he made explicit sexual remarks to and then aggressively groped 2 members of the movie's production team. If convicted, he could face 5 years in jail. The 75-year-old denies the charges and said in an open letter published last year that he had never abused a woman. And participants dressed as wolves and the Grim Reaper have paddleboarded down the Danube River in Hungary over the Halloween weekend. The spooky costumed event drew hundreds of onlookers to the banks of the river. Around 75 people took part in the annual event in total. Money was also raised for local charities. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.
Many thanks, Simon. Welcome to Sports News. Aquara United held defending champions Rangers International to a 1-1 draw in match day 9 of the Nigeria Premier Football League played at the Aquara Stadium complex in Ilorin earlier this evening. Shola Abdurrahim got the opener in the 42nd minute of the first half. The visitors responded within 3 minutes. Lobby Stars beat Bayelsa United 2-1 in Makurdi to record their second win of the season in 9 games. Manchester City's Rodri has won his maiden Ballon d'Or in Paris, France, with the winner announced just a few minutes ago. The Spanish midfielder was an integral part in Manchester City's Premier League title, pitching in with 17 goal contributions. He also won the UEFA Super Cup with the Citizens and helped the national team, La Furia Roja of Spain, win Euro 2024. Meanwhile, Barcelona and Spain star Aitana Bonmati has won her second successive women's Ballon d'Or after leading her club to an historic continental quadruple of titles and claiming the Nations League with her country. The 26-year-old playmaker joins teammate Alexia Putellas as the only women to win the Ballon d'Or twice since the award's inauguration in 2018. Manchester United's assistant manager and ex-striker Ruud van Nistelrooy will take over on an interim basis at the Old Trafford side following the sacking of Erik ten Hag at the club earlier today. Van Nistelrooy's first game in charge will be Wednesday's EFL Cup 4th round clash against Leicester City. Ten Hag was appointed in April 2022 and won 2 domestic trophies, the League Cup in 2023 and the English FA Cup in 2024. The Red Devils are currently 14th in the Premier League after 9 games. Meanwhile, Manchester United fans differ on possible replacement for the sacked manager Erik ten Hag. There are indications that Man United are in talks to appoint Sporting Lisbon head coach Ruben Amorim, while a short list of around 5 managers has also been identified.
I do not want Gareth Southgate in charge of Manchester United. Watching England, you know, I know even though he's got to finals and stuff like that, the football that he plays.
I'm thinking more maybe Xavi because he's got that footballing history, but he's also got that knowing of how attacking and defending and keeping it nice and balanced.
For me, my dream manager for United would be Diego Simeone from Atletico Madrid. Someone that's going to come in and fire the players right up, wear his heart on his sleeve, and they're going to want to die for him. So for me, Diego Simeone would be the one. Whether it's achievable to get him is a different question, but I'd love to see someone with that stature at United.
And the main news again. The governors of the 19 states today, northern states today, met with traditional rulers from the northern region in Kaduna, where they agreed to forge a new path and tackle rising insecurity. Meanwhile, the president has ordered for a speedy restoration of power in the northern region. Also today, the Chief Justice of Nigeria stepped in to end the long-running political crisis in Rivers State by summoning the judges involved in recent conflicting judgments. And 40 Chadian soldiers have been killed by suspected Islamic militants following a deadly attack on the military base. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. From all of us here, it's good night and please stay safe.